Welcome to UK News Times. My name is John Z. Coover. Let's check the latest news headline. Trump says some US states to reopen in coming days. Iranian speaker praises China for help in coronavirus battle. Russia rules out extension of UN arms embargo on Iran. President urges plans to resume necessary travels from Iran. Saudi strikes several regions of Yemen despite ceasefire. That was the headline. We now move on to the news in detail. But before that, there will be a request to like this video. President Donald Trump says that some US states will begin lifting coronavirus restrictions in coming days, while still observing the virus-related precautions. Speaking at a daily briefing on Saturday, Trump said some business in Texas and Vermont will be allowed to reopen on Monday, and restrictions will be lifted on Montana on Friday. Texas and Vermont will allow certain business to open on Monday while still requiring appropriate social distancing precautions, he said. Both Republican and Democratic governors have announced concrete steps to begin a safe and gradual phase opening, he added. We continue to see a number of positive signs that the virus has passed its peak, Trump told reporters. So far, 738,923 people have been affected and 39,015 have died of the virus across the United States, according to the Worldometer's info. Meanwhile, hundreds of people flocked to several beaches in Florida on Friday evening as the area opened for essential activities, despite the state's death toll climbing to 726. In New York, Governor Andrew M. Cuomo said Saturday that the state had continued to make progress in its battle with the virus. If you look at the past 3 days, you could argue we are past the plateau and starting the descent, Cuomo said. So we are not at the plateau anymore, but we are still not in a good position. Some state governors, however, have said they will not act prematurely to reopen their business until there is more testing for the virus. Business leaders have also told the president that widespread testing was needed before their companies can return to normal operations. On Saturday, Trump said our testing is getting better and better, but failed to offer any concrete evidence. Iranian Parliament Speaker Ali Larijani hailed China's success in containing the novel coronavirus and applauded the Asian country for assisting Iran in the fight against the infectious disease. According to Tasnim news agency, in a letter to his Chinese counterpart Li Jiansu, Larijani congratulated China on its success in controlling COVID-19 and developing an effective global pattern to contain the disease. He also expressed gratitude to the People's Republic of China for providing Iran with medical and humanitarian aids amid the outbreak of the coronavirus and for helping curb the spread of the virus in Iran. Such supports have undoubtedly had a significant role in helping the process of containing and controlling the disease in my country, Larijani added, highlighting the major role of Iran and China in regional and international developments. The Iranian speaker said, our common belief is that the expansion of friendly cooperation between two sides of the diverse fields is a strategic principle of the two countries' foreign policy. On Thursday, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif posted a message in the Chinese language on his Twitter account. lauding China for assisting the Islamic Republic in the fight against the novel coronavirus and for containing the US sanction against Tehran. I thank China for providing Iran with anti-epidemic materials and sending medical experts condemning the continued illegal sanctions by the United States that seriously hindered Iran's efforts to fight the epidemic, said Jarif. China has repeatedly denounced the US government's sanctions on Iran amid the outbreak of the coronavirus and has shipped several consignments of medical supplies to Iran in recent weeks. Russia's permanent representative to the IAEA, Mikhail Olenov, ruled out the possibility of renewing a UN arms embargo against Iran, which is to expire in October, reminding Washington that the risks of arms race could only be reduced through collective efforts, not unilateralism. According to Tasnim news agency, Olenov tweeted late on Saturday, "Usually an arms race is not unilateral. It is a collective endeavor even at level of great powers or in regional and sub-regional context. A risk of arms race can hardly be removed through arms embargo against one country. This task requires collective efforts through negotiations." Earlier in the day, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, in a tweet, urged the United Nations Security Council to expand the international arms embargo on Iran. In 2019, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said the U.S. officials' calls for extension of the embargo against Iran are considered as a foreign policy move that has no basis and principle, highlighting that the removal of the embargo is based on the JCPOA, signed by several parties including the U.S., and endorsed by the UN Security Council Resolution 2231 in 2015. The Russian official said Moscow is not going to bow to the US demands whenever they want so. They may come up with something else next time. Under the nuclear deal, from which the US unilaterally withdrew in 2018, a UN ban on weapons sales to Tehran will end into October 2020. President Hassan Rouhani ordered 3 ministers to formulate the necessary health protocols to allow for the resumption of inevitable foreign travels to or from Iran. According to Tasnim news agency, in a Saturday meeting with the chairpersons of committees of the Coronavirus Fight National Headquarters, Rouhani stressed the need for the formulation of detailed protocols to make it possible for Iranian or foreign nationals to make the necessary trips to Iran or leave the country amid the outbreak of the novel coronavirus. The President assigned the Health Ministry to coordinate efforts with the Foreign Ministry and the Ministry of Roads and Urban Development to define the necessary health protocols relating to the travels and bring them into force after being ratified by the Coronavirus Fight National Headquarters. The new health protocols should allow for the necessary travels, which are mainly business travels for trade with other countries, and also for the repatriations of the Iranian citizens, Rouhani said. The President also called on the Health Ministry and the Vice Presidency for Science and Technology to cooperate with domestic knowledge-based companies and support their plans for the production of the software and test kits for COVID-19 diagnosis. He further assigned the Ministry of Health to use the internationally recognized criteria to categorize the country's provinces and cities according to the status of the coronavirus outbreak, define three separate zones, and begin to enforce the necessary protocols for each category on the basis of the defined criteria. The daily death toll from the novel coronavirus in Iran dropped for the fifth day in a row on Saturday, as nearly 56,000 positive cases have fully recovered from the disease across the country. The Saudi-led coalition has once again carried out airstrikes in a number of Yemeni provinces, despite its earlier announcement of a ceasefire to stave the coronavirus pandemic. The Saudi-led coalition's war plans bombarded residential areas in the cities of Sarwa and Mujir in the western province of Ma'rib. They also carried out similar air raids in the provinces of Sa'da and Al-Jawf. Meanwhile, a Yemeni woman was martyred by Saudi and Emirati snipers in the province of Taij. The fresh airstrikes came less than 48 hours after the Saudi warplanes bombarded Wadi Daur, area of the Hamdan district in the capital, Sana'a, as well as an area close to its hospital 3 times. In the early hours of Thursday, Saudi fighter jets also carried out a strike against Arosh and Wada areas of Kaulan district, Sana'a province. The airstrikes come despite claims by the invaders that they were halting military operations in supporting of United Nations peace efforts and to avoid further spread of the new coronavirus in Yemen. On April 8, Riyadh claimed it would halt all military operations for 2 weeks to counter the spread of the coronavirus. But since then, it has violated the ceasefire numerous times. Yemen's Ansarullah movement has dismissed the ceasefire claim as false and misleading, saying the Saudi Arabia-led coalition had even escalated their offensives against Yemen. Riyadh and its allies have been widely criticized for the high civilian death toll resulted from their bombing campaign in Yemen since early 2015. At least 80% of the 28 million strong population of Yemen is reliant on aid to survive in what the United Nations has called the world's worst humanitarian crisis. That's all for the newsroom for this moment. Thank you for staying with us.